everyone, here again for another video review, and today I'm going to be talking about this new Eastman 850 Rue St Georges alto sax and tenor sax. Now, many of you will be well aware of the mark that Eastman have made with their fantastic 52nd Street range saxophones. The 52nd Street, well known for that sort of big, punchy, kind of all-American strident sort of sound, and they've come in here with another top flight model to kind of complement the 52nd Street, if you like. In fact, this one is priced in an even more expensive bracket than the 52nd Street. And I'm particularly excited about these saxophones, the alto and the tenor, because they feature some really groundbreaking innovations in saxophone technology. I'm going to tell you all about that right now. But before I get into that, just a word on the sound, because that's another big part of why these saxophones have come about to sort of complement the top-end Eastman range. Unlike that big kind of fat sound that I just mentioned there that we get from the 52nd Street models, this one has a slightly more refined, focused and kind of centered sound. So it's already being told apart from the 52nd Street by having that differential in tone. But the big thing for me is what is going on with all of this, the keywork, the mechanism. And the way that Eastman have gone about this is they've approached one of their other companies within the Eastman brand, that's the Haynes Flute Company, who are based in Boston and have a long history actually. They've been going for about 100 years or so. And their head key designer, a chap called David Shipani, who's been involved in a lot of the intricate work that they do on their top flute models, they've approached him and asked him to identify some of those innovations, if you like, and apply them to the saxophone, which is some really great lateral thinking on the part of Eastman. I really love that idea that we're not just sort of internalizing and going with previous knowledge that we have on the saxophone, but we're actually kind of thinking a little bit more laterally here. And so what David has brought to the saxophone, I'm just going to look at the saxophone for inspiration and kind of go from top to bottom, but starting with the really key feature, which is the main left and right hand key action. Now, it's going to get a little bit technical now, but I'm sure we can do a close-up, or show you in the edit anyway, some close-up pictures of these rather lovely looking feet that we've got here under the left hand and right hand key actions. And what they have done is they've changed the pivot point of these feet, which sit under this regulation bar, such that the feet are actually behind the bar as opposed to directly underneath it. And what that actually has the practical effect of doing is making the pivot point change, and therefore the key action is lighter, smoother and more fluid. And you can feel it straight away. I remember when I tried the saxophone at NAMM a couple of years back, I was just amazed at how beautiful that left hand and right hand key action felt under the fingers. It often takes a while to get a key action to feel like this, and quite often you need to get technicians involved and just play the saxophone in for months and years to feel like this. But straight away this just feels so fluid and light and perfect. So that was the first thing that really grabbed my attention when I tried this saxophone for the first time. So that's innovation number one. The second kind of real standout thing for me is this Octave Key here. It's got almost a sort of 3D shape to it. You can see straight away it's got an unusual shape, and it sort of complements the actual thumb rest with that shaping. So we've got a sort of crescent shape here in the thumb rest, and then the actual Octave Key itself slots into that really nicely. But it's got this kind of sculpted feel to it, and it bulges out just here at the sort of central point of the actual key, such that it really lends itself to the shaping of the thumb nicely. Normally these are flat and you have to sort of reach over a little bit, but this just sits beautifully under my thumb, so I really love that. Feels great. We have got, what else? So on the palm keys here, they have been sort of sculpted and designed to perfectly fit into the shape of the palm. Feels great to me. I know that Eastman went through all of their sax players in their factory to sort of try and establish a kind of an average fit for the average palm, if you like, and I think they've done a great job there. We've got, in terms of the key touches, they might look a little bit different. I don't know if you can pick that out right now, but these are heavy silver plated, which gives them a nice kind of grippy feeling under the fingers. There's no sliding off them. Just a nice sort of tactile feeling as well, so that's great for me. What else have we got going on here? So yes, this is a really key area of the saxophone, right down here. The side keys, right-hand side keys, the shaping, again, they've gone for this sculpted type thing, where we're not just talking kind of two-dimensional shaping, but it feels more three-dimensional in terms of the shaping. Really beautifully sculpted, feels great as you run your right index finger down these side keys. Very ergonomically satisfying. And then also the F-sharp keys, whether it's the side one or the top one, there's a beautiful shape to these. They feel great as well. There's a few other bits, I'm sure. Hopefully I'm going to cover everything right now. Okay, just if I flip this around, you can see this lovely braiding here on this belt body brace. More of an aesthetic thing, but looks great. I've just been reminded of something. I'm going to flip it around again onto the table keys. The shaping here, obviously an area of contention. I always talk about table keys because it's an area where you just wind up getting stuck if it's badly designed, but brilliantly designed here. The G-sharp key has silver plate on it, so you've got that nice kind of feeling of stickiness there, but it's also got a nice round shape such that you can slide nice and easily onto the C-sharp and the B keys. And there's a built-up kind of wodge here on the C-sharp key, just at the back here. Rather than just being flat, again, it's got this kind of three-dimensional thing here where it allows you to slide nicely from the C-sharp to the G-sharp very easily, and then likewise you can slide down from the C-sharp onto the B and then down onto the B flat. So it's really nice shaping going on there in the table key area. Just a little security thing, you rarely see this, but on the bottom C-sharp they've got a little guard here, which just gives a bit more protection. Sometimes when you put the saxophone down on the stand, it can get caught on the C-sharp key, so I really like what they've done there. And, oh, am I missing something? Yes, the cups here, they've got this really nice kind of rounded, I don't know if you can quite see that from where you are. Quite often there's a flat edge on these cups here, but these are just rounded. More of an aesthetic thing, maybe a little bit weight saving there. Just looks really great. So, a lot of innovations there, and just overall, the mechanism just feels really sound, really comfortable. I absolutely love it. I really took to it very nicely. Another key thing to mention, two necks. We get two necks with each saxophone. One is stamped with an R and the other one is stamped with an S. In my demos here, I'm playing on the one that's stamped S, which for me has a more open feel to it. I believe the taper is more open in the S neck and it just gives you a sort of slightly wider sound. With the R neck, there's a bit more of a focus to the sound, but it's nice that you've got the choice and you can pretty clearly hear the distinction between the two necks, I think, when you A-B them. So that's a nice feature. Yeah, I think I've covered all the basics there. I mean, there's a lot to get into, as you've just heard there. So much good stuff to report, and it's really rare to have a new modern saxophone that just has such a lot of content in terms of innovations within the mechanism that personally I find it quite astounding, really, and delightful to be talking about it and to actually have these in the store to sell, because it's very, as I say, it's very rare that we see a new saxophone come through with so much going on. Sound-wise, it's definitely, there's more of a focus feel to the sound than the kind of big American kind of fat sound of the 52nd Street. I really like that kind of focus sound, but I also love the big fat sound of the 52nd Street. So it's going to become a personal choice as to which way you prefer to go if you're comparing within the Eastman range. But I just think it's great what they've done with the sound, the fact that it does contrast, and they've got another top-end instrument in that range to complement the 52nd Street. So overall, a really fantastic addition to the top-end Eastman range. Watch this saxophone. This is going to be a saxophone that means business in the years to come.